Why would anybody ever want less than 60 frames per second for an audio podcast?
I don't. Got me. Gotta have all those frames.
You gotta have all those frames. It's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Welcome back, people. It's Burning Barrel.
Hello.
I'm Paul. With me is Hank. Hi.
Yo.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit tired today. I apologize for my lack of enthusiasm. Not that I'm not enthusiastic to do a podcast, I'm just kind of sleepy, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
fair.
It's catching up on me. All the stuff is catching up on me, and now it's like, I was thinking about it today. I was just like, yes, after Thursday work, I have another weekend. Oh, wait, after Thursday work, I have a podcast to do, go to sleep, wake up, do a stream, do Heroes of the Storm training, do a tournament the next day, but not before doing an Indiecade thing in the morning from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., come home, and then get ready for the tournament. And then Sunday, I have something else I might have to do. So, like, just thinking about my weekend even is just stressful right now. But at least it's stuff I like to do, as opposed to the stuff I have to do Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
But yeah, that'll be good. I like doing top-down perspective most times. I just hate that everybody only ever wants to talk about Nintendo. That's all they ever want to do. They don't care. They don't care about the little guy, PC. The little guy.
The little guy.
It's the little more powerful guy. It's like the midget that's been training his whole life because he's been getting shit, so he's all buff, but in the end he's still a midget, so nobody respects him.
Well, it's true. Did you know PC gaming was dead? They declared it dead, like, years ago.
It actually...
So, clearly can't be come back.
You're right. It actually did make a comeback, though. Like, huge.
Yep.
Huge comeback. Because people realize that the Wii U is the only console you really need to own if you have a PC that can run anything.
It's mostly, like, just that everything started getting ported to PC. Just,
Yes.
like, as an afterthought, because it was easy. Like, that was the huge
Meowth is
thing.
like, PC is like Little Mac. So weird. It's a weird thing to say, but I can appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to start off with something that's been about 2 weeks coming. I saw Mad Max tonight. I got back from it about 2 hours ago, finished what I needed to at work, and then came home. So that was my night so far. That movie's okay. Like, it's fine. It is a dumb action movie, and that's kind of the only thing I wanted, and it is 100% that.
Yeah.
That's all
it's
it
good
is.
Action.
Yeah.
It's good action.
That's all it was.
But it's an action movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for people saying it's like the best film ever, dialogue's corny. A lot of the lines are just dumb. There's no character development at all because there doesn't really need to be. The only character development there is like enough so that they try to make you feel something when they die, basically, which is just an action movie thing.
The Warboy character as an arc.
Sorry?
No one else really. Only the Warboy character that's like, who uses, what's his name? The guy from, who was Beast in First Class and,
Yeah.
was in Warm Bodies, that guy. He's
Yeah.
the only character that has like an arc, like an emotional arc at all in the movie.
Yeah, but he's useless, like, as a person, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a throwaway
That's like
guy.
an emotional arc.
Yeah.
He's the only character that has one.
Right, but even then, it's still ham-fistedly thrown in there because they had to kind of make you care about something to throw it away later to have more gravitas, which is fine. It's a thing action movies do. Like, it's fine. Like, other than that, I don't know. The storm is like my favorite part of that movie, and it's right away, like really early. It's just a beautiful effects thing. Like, it's really well done.
It's really good effects.
Like, I can't wait to actually own this movie so I can just watch that part, like, at home again. That's basically it. Yeah, the cars obviously are cool. It made me kind of just want to play like Twisted Metal again because of course it did. Like it's a movie where a bunch of cars are smashing into each other. So I wanted to do that, but you can't do that in real life, so video games. Like I was just picturing a Mad Max video game and how there's like the one part that actually got me thinking about it was when they're trying to go faster, so they're like siphoning the gas and spitting it into the intake for the engine and like going back and forth, and it's just like mash A or something to like siphon because it was like back and forth. So that was the one part out of all of it that I was just like, this is like a dumb video game thing right here where like your opponent's catching up the rubber banding and like the cars are like going back and forth. It's so dumb. Other than that, what did I like about it? I like that they made like kind of the heroic lead besides obviously Max, because of course they like uglied up Charlize Theron pretty good to the point where she is like limbless, like she has like her fake arm or whatever, and she's kind of a tomboy, not a whole lot to look at like as a girly girl, especially when shot in the same shots with like girls that are obviously like sex objects in this world. But I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. Like I liked her character quite a bit. I really fucking hated the main bad guy dude, which you're supposed to do, so that worked fine. Like I was so happy to see him get his, and it's a pretty good one too. That mediocre line is stupid, and I was into it. It's really fucking dumb.
It's really dumb. Really dumb.
It's really fucking dumb. That part actually is kind of just hilarious because you think there's going to be like this big action thing, and then he just ends up tripping, essentially. Yeah. There's not a whole lot to say about it, honestly, though. Like, this is kind of the problem I knew I would have with it, is that a lot of people are overhyping it and saying, like, this is the best film in years, or this is the best thing all year, or whatever. And my opinion of it is, it was fun. There is no more to that at all. I don't think it's a particularly great film, quote-unquote. It's not great cinema. It's just a fun time. And that's kind of all I was expecting anyway. So I got what I expected, at least. Even though people were overblowing it, I just kind of ignored what they were thinking because I knew they'd be wrong. Like, I knew this wasn't going to be, like, a head-scratcher or, like, something thought-provoking. But it was a fun way to kill 2 hours. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That guitar guy's stupid. That is a stupid thing to have in a movie. But I kind of enjoyed it. Kind of enjoyed it.
It's so dumb. The Rock Rider.
Yeah.
They all have really, all the characters have really stupid names too.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Like the
like Max.
People Eater. Well, Max's last name was Rock.
Yeah, and I
can't remember exactly.
Yeah. One of Nathan, like I talked to Nathan about this a little bit before, like we crossed paths at works one day as I was leaving. And he was saying it's the most metal movie. And it's like, no, it's more like a hard rock. It's not really metal. But I could see what he was going for. And I can, at some point, agree. I mean, to the point where there is a dude with loudspeakers behind him just playing guitar a lot, all the time.
Yeah,
like,
that's
but
his life.
That is his life. Yeah. That movie's fun. Like, it's not one I'll go see again in theaters, though. I will see it again when it comes out onto, like, a home platform of some sort, easily. That's all I have to say about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yay.
It didn't, like, turn bad on you after all the hype and how long it took you to see it.
Oh, it turned bad a little bit, but, I mean, it was fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, that was my impressions of Mad Max. Other than that, we're going to do the same thing that we always seem to do because we played all the games the same games, so we'll just chat.
Mm. Yep.
So, what do you want to start with?
Start with Blade and Soul.
Yeah. So, for anybody who doesn't know what Blade and Soul is, it is the Korean MMO that has been out for about 2 years. And it is a martial arts fantasy MMO, is what they touted as. It's coming to the Americas this winter, apparently, which they announced 2 years ago.
I didn't know it was that long since they announced it coming to the West.
They announced it basically right when it came out, like in China, which was
Mhm.
2013. That yeah, it's going to be coming to the West in 2015. But like, I guess they probably just reminded people now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is fun. Like, I was surprised at how fun it was,
Yeah.
considering
Especially
how
since
many like MMOs are just like the beginning of them, especially is such a grind a lot of times.
we're no slouches when it comes to MMOs either. Like we've
Hmm.
played a few of them in our times, I
Yeah,
think.
like I know what to expect.
And I mean, let's be clear, there is still that.
Yes, it's totally still just an MMO. If you fucking hate MMOs, this isn't gonna change your mind.
In fact, it might be worse because not understanding Korean, Chinese, Taiwanese, or Japanese, you
Hmm.
will. It distills itself down to the base mechanics of go to where it says on the mini map and do the thing.
Yeah, like because there's voice acting and like dialogue stories, but I'm clicking through that as quickly as possible. I just generally end up playing WoW anyway.
I started reading some of the story stuff when we were starting, and that quickly
Hmm.
faded when a lot of the side quests don't even have translations.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
lost what's
like the
happening.
side quest stuff is basically untranslated. It's
The
only main storyline. I can see why they'd focus on main storyline because side quest stuff,
hmm,
there's probably not much to it anyway. But the big thing about this game is movement, just moving around the world. It is like so quick and fluid and fun. It like because so much of your time with MMOs is going from one fight to the next. This just makes that part of the game engaging and enjoyable. So you just want to keep going.
yeah, the movement's a huge thing. The mechanics for the combat system are great.
They seem really interesting. Like the most of the fights are so friggin' easy and short that we didn't really get to test it out. But every once in a while, there's a longer fight, and they're like there's definitely depth to those mechanics. There were definitely some interesting fights when we took on stuff that was stronger.
And not in the way that like a lot of MMOs have tried to say that they have a combo system in the past. This actually has a combo system where like you can't basically do a certain move until like you've done another move, or like two moves will go together to be more powerful, that
Hmm.
sort of thing. And blocking as a blade master is like the most important thing when you're facing something that can actually hurt you really easily,
Yeah.
like the timing and stuff. It's really, really cool. I really like a lot of stuff in it. Also, gambling. We gambled for a long time.
Yeah. That felt kind of exploitative, but
It was great. I loved
it
it.
worked. Like it did it right because I felt like I was actually getting stuff in a game. And for like a free to play MMO, like the biggest problem a lot of those kind of games have is you don't feel like you're getting anything up front, or like if it's sort of the Diablo thing. If you're getting good loot as you're playing, you feel good about your time with it. Just those like seeing those numbers go up, it just feels good.
It does, which is a nice way to transition into the weapon crafting thing that's going on.
Hmm.
So you're given like an epic sword right from the beginning because you have been training under this like regime or whatever that is renowned for who they are, their training and all that sort of stuff. And you basically just upgrade it as you go through the game by sacrificing other weapons into it.
Hmm. Well, yeah, like it's material stuff. So you're not. It's not just weapons. It's also like you get these specific gems. Mostly, I think from like survey stuff that I guess pops when you've done a certain amount of the game. I don't know why those were popping. They just were periodically when we were playing, and it's all in. It's like not. I can't read any of it, so it's like yeah, that happened.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So like you can level it up with materials to like level 5. Then you're locked where you need like a specific item to get it any further. And you get it from like these gambling machines at like the main hub area
Mm-hmm.
that you can go find like the tokens for by killing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's like one of the strongest enemies that was nearby there, what like just spawned it every time. So within our one session we got strong enough where we were just farming that guy so we could gamble more.
The nice thing is we had 2 other people that kept jumping in with us for the same reason.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. It brought together the world.
With through the desire to spin a wheel and win a prize.
Mm.
Which is pretty universal. Everybody likes to spin a wheel and win a prize. Particularly when you win a prize every time. Like
Yes.
it might not be a great prize at a certain point, but you are getting stuff every time.
I really like their bow pay system as well, which is almost like a weird way to do tier set bonuses and like gemming in a way for your character. So what they are, they're basically medallions that are split up into 8 pieces, and you can collect pieces to like equip, and you get benefits for the different bopay on 3, 5, and 8, I believe, combinations. And you can mix and match if you want. You can do 3 of one, 5 of another, or 3 and 3, and then 2, but you won't get anything for the 2 piece, so that's kind of useless. Or you can just go for like a full 8 if you're able to. And I like a lot of weird little customization stuff like that, which is why I really like the weapon thing as well in this game.
The weapon thing feels cool because it was like you're getting progress just for sitting around like gambling. Like it just felt good. Like oh man, I can get this thing to this level like really quickly. It just felt cool, and you get to see like it exploding and like effects and stuff. But the bow pay system I like because it's like giving you character customization and setups without focusing on your looks. Like that your looks are like a separate thing for what your character is dressed up as.
Mm-hmm.
Like various costumes and things. Didn't seem to be stat tied.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there was one that was specifically for PvP that we got, but then there were a bunch of just other weird costume stuff. It just is cool because like you get to look the way you want, and you can just have stuff for fun. And there seemed to be a ton of that. Like I also like that there was a preview mode where you could just look at different costumes and stuff, just look at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I was actually really surprised at how much I got into that game, honestly. It was a good time, and I actually look forward to jumping back into it, which is more than I can say about a lot of MMOs I've tried in the last few years. WoW's the only one that's been consistent. Also, hello, Kitty.
Yeah, because MMOs, it's you like see it's usually so daunting what's in front of you. You know you're gonna have to grind so much, but just because I like the feel of movement, it makes a huge difference because I just want to like run around in that world and jump and run and dash and like that part of it's fun. The boring part where you're not actually engaging with the game really, you're just fucking around is fun. So it makes everything else work that much better.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really like it. I'm looking forward to going back into it. I'm really actually looking
Also,
forward to
there was a lot of cutscenes, and they were ridiculous.
Asura's Wrath.
They
just that one part.
That angry guy.
He got really angry and then got super powerful
really
because Asian.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that coming to the US to see what they fuck up with it. Because I think they're going to do something to streamline it and make it not fun anymore.
That could happen. They could fuck up like if you didn't have like if we weren't getting as much stuff, it probably wouldn't be as fun. If they fucked it, like if they didn't have the survey system or something. Like they didn't just throw keys at you.
Yes.
Because I see how that could be the wall where I'd lose interest is like I don't have any keys. I can't get better at the moment with time I'm putting in.
Especially since it's going to be free to play over here. So they're
Mhm.
probably going to put a paywall up on that. Like, you'll probably start off with 5 keys, and then, like, for another 5, you have to pay $1 or something. I could see it happening, honestly.
Yep, and that could fuck it up
It
because
could.
it's a really delicate balance to making something like that fun.
Yeah, especially since I was saying, like, I want the Hello Kitty thing. Like,
Hmm.
that's how you make money from me in these games, is by leaving the gameplay content open and accessible in a way that I could get through playing the game, and then just give me dumb shit that I like on the side, and I will pay money for that.
Yep.
That's it.
Mhm.
Which is why I've bought dumb skins in Heroes of the Storm.
That's the reason.
Yeah,
That's the reason.
we should probably talk about Heroes of the Storm. Although you'll talk more about this because I haven't been playing as much, honestly.
Yeah, I've just been trying to find new ways to keep myself interested, like playing PvE Gazlowe, like
Mhm.
just a dumb build that's not that good, but you just do stuff you don't normally do, like solo bosses.
We should say also, as of this recording, it is officially launch day, so that game is
Yeah,
out.
the game is out,
Yeah.
out. I guess, or in a couple hours, maybe. I think.
Well,
Is it out officially now?
yes, because midnight.
Okay.
But
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know when their launch timer is
it'll like
of
their
their
patch
server
will
stuff.
release in I think probably 4 hours. It's usually about
It,
4 or
it
5
doesn't.
in the
It like
morning.
anyone can play it already anyway, so it's
Hmm.
not. They're gonna be like their bonus stuffs and probably sales and stuff to get people hyped. But yeah, that game is out. So I haven't really noticed a difference since it's been in open beta.
Hmm.
I guess like it hasn't been that different in terms of what kind of players were around.
Right.
Like it seems mostly the same. So who knows?
Johanna's should be out today/tomorrow or whenever.
Yeah,
So
hopefully they put out a trailer for it that I didn't watch
I didn't watch it
yet.
yet either. I will
They
after
put
this.
out they put out the Mechano Spider mount. You just have
Hmm.
to do some dumb Facebook stuff. So I did that. That mount is cool. I like its third variation. It's all red. It looks really cool.
Wait, you have to do a Facebook thing for that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Games like this are pretty much the only reason why I still have Facebook.
Yeah. I don't use Facebook at all.
Mm-mm. I don't like it.
No. I mean, it's stuff like this. It's like what Facebook is about to me in my head. It's like about advertising bullshit.
Hmm. Which I can get behind when it's something I care about.
Yeah.
But other than that, we have the
Other than
tournament
that,
coming up.
yeah.
So
So we'll have to have a session on Friday, I guess.
Friday. Yep, on Friday. Oh man, I don't know if I'm looking forward to that. Kind of like a forced play session.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like when we tried to like organize that Sunday. It was like suddenly I was like, oh man, I like what I like about the time just jumping in all the time. Like I don't need scheduled. This is your designated fun time for this thing you can play whenever. Like it was whatever, but it was cool. We ended up getting like 10 people that time. That's the only time we've had that many, but
That was crazy. But
that
we
was
also
great.
didn't know most of them.
It's true. It's true.
There was at least 4 out of 10 that we had no idea who they were at all.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. But yeah, other than that, nothing really new happening on that end that we haven't talked about ad
Yeah, I feel
nauseum.
like the amount of stuff to talk about with Heroes were running low. But
Murky's
apparently
great.
they're like gonna amp up the amount of characters they're releasing after launch, maybe.
Huh.
So that would keep my interest if they were introducing new characters that were interesting,
Like what, every couple weeks or something?
like 2 every 6 weeks or something. That's
Oh,
what Tony was saying.
so
I
every
mean,
3
they
weeks.
said they were gonna do one a month, and they didn't do that, so who knows? But and I'm still sort of waiting for them to fucking get their like spectator stuff together where you can watch friends games and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So you played Devil Survivor?
Yeah, So I've been had this game on the back burner for a long time,
Hmm.
and I finally started digging into it again. So the so this is like a tactics turn-based RPG. So it mixes tactics and like regular RPG combat,
Uh-huh.
where you'll have like a tactics map, but when two characters fight, they go each like unit has like a character and then two like monsters, like Shin Megami Tensei Pokemon type stuff. And then they'll go into a 3-on-3 fight that'll have at least one turn, and if you meet certain conditions, you'll get a second action, like an extra turn.
Hmm.
So that'll play out in like the view of like where you just see the three enemies and you have like information about your characters on the bottom.
Hmm.
So that'll play out, and then that'll go. That's like one character's like move for the tactics turn, and then and everyone has like their turn, and speed stuff determines how many actions you'll get, and like priority of information stuff. Sometimes you have to like rescue civilians. Sometimes you just killing stuff. And the one of the key things, like if you kill the center monster or the center person dies on your team, that unit will disappear entirely. So you also have sort of a strategy of trying to kill the side ones so you can get the XP for them, or you can just kill the center one to just wipe it out quickly.
Hmm.
So there's some balance there between how what you want to do in terms of gathering XP or just getting through battles quickly. And on top of that, there's for the story mode, the game happens over a period of days. So every and but it's broken up through the day, sort of like the world ends with you,
Okay.
where you're taking certain actions as you're progressing. Time is passing. Although it also will let you free battle just to grind XP if you really need it,
Hmm.
without spending time. So over the first 6 days, there are different storylines that can happen, and there are different paths you can take. Like you'll at any time you'll have like a choice of talking to one of any number of people, and part of them will be part of ongoing quest lines throughout the week, and you can miss stuff, or you can finish quests throughout it. And what you do basically comes to a culmination for the seventh day, where on the seventh day you specifically pick one path that will set you on a particular ending. But which ones you have access to depend on what you did throughout the rest of the week. So like if you didn't complete all the storyline stuff with this character, what this character wanted to do to get to at this point, then you won't have that path open to you.
Hmm.
And the paths can be like either we'll run away and hide at the end of the 7 days, or we'll go and kill God, or
Okay.
we'll go and fight for God and defeat all the demons.
Weird.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of variation there. Because basically, and like the other story thing is you get the ability to see these little clocks above people's heads that tell you when they're going to die. So if they're going to die today, it'll be, if they're going to die tomorrow, it'll be a 1. And you sort of set out to like, your first thing is your death clocks are counting down and you have to save yourselves. You have to like win a fight or else you would die, because that was when you were going to die. But you gain this power that lets you summon demons and like change your destiny.
Okay.
And
Cool.
it's all, and the 3DS version is fully voice acted, and the voice acting is really good. Like this is Atlas Shin Megami Tensei stuff. Like it's on par with Persona games voice acting. And I realized one of the reasons that those games can have such good voice acting as opposed to a lot of anime is they don't have to worry about matching animation, so they don't have to worry about weird intonations. They can speak normally based on how the script is. So it
Right,
just
because
sounds
they can
like more
just
natural
move the
speech.
mouth after.
There just it does the like reaction shot still images,
Uh,
where for certain character like they just have a certain number of images, so they don't have to worry about
so like
animation at
Trauma
all.
Center or like any of those anime-ish type
Yeah, like
games.
Persona 4 does, the Persona games do that too and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, or like Phoenix Wright, except the game doesn't have voice acting, but yeah, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
It's really fucking good. It's a really great game. It has all like the Shin Megami Tensei like demon raising, and then you fuse demons to make stronger demons. And there's like an auction house system where you buy demons.
That sounds great. I wish we had that in real life.
Yeah. So I've like been putting it off because I chose the path I chose the first time I got to the seventh day. It was too hard. Like, oh
really?
fuck, I fucked up. Yeah. So I'd had a save right before that, so it was just like eventually just going back and then choosing a different path that's a little easier because I'd chosen like the hardest one. I'd chosen like I decided to start with the path where you go kill God. I was like, this turns out to be too hard. Just got wrecked. So I chose a different path. And then with the 3DS version, they also added an 8th day to a bunch of the stories, but only like really the big ones I think have an 8th day. But so there's like extra content in the 3DS one that's like a big deal too.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah. I think that's it on that game.
Cool. So yeah, I'm getting a weird echo in my headset, and I'm pretty sure that's coming through on the thing too. Like really bad, and I don't know why. It should be said we're trying a new program out. We're trying QQ International. So maybe this is one of the drawbacks for
Oh,
this.
yeah, weird. I'm not getting anything on my side, but I turned on the stream for a sec and I could hear it. Weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. So let's try something. I'm gonna mute my mic in here and mute you, and let's talk in TeamSpeak and see if maybe that's a way.
All right.
Just might be easier because that echo was bad, but now it's gotten much worse. All right, let's see if that works. Yeah, like the echo's gone now.
User was moved to your channel.
The echo's completely gone in here, so it is QQ doing that.
Okay.
But it seems like it's in sync still with like our mouse.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Because I'm looking at the preview window here, like for the video, and it looks fine. The only thing I have to do is because I turned my volume way up, I have to turn you down, but TeamSpeak allows me to do that. There we go. Okay, fixed. All done.
Fixed? Cool.
Even Meowth is like, yay, sound quality better.
Cool.
Yeah. I was aware
stuff.
it wasn't so bad at the start, and it gradually got really, really bad. And so I was willing to ignore it, hoping maybe that like it would be okay. But it got so bad that I couldn't even think. Yeah, I wonder if I have a weird effect on my mic or something. Like, I have to toy around with QQ a little bit more. But as it stands right now, this is kind of an okay way to do it because it's still two, like, to put this in perspective for people, these two programs working in unison together right now are still way, way less intensive on my CPU and memory than Skype is alone.
Yeah.
That's how bad Skype is.
Crap.
Skype is a piece of fucking garbage. So yeah. Sorry about that before. It was okay, kind of, and then it got worse and worse, but that's fine. I didn't notice the sound quality, but that ringing was just a message. I'll turn that off for next time. Okay, so other than, like, what made you want to start playing Devil Survivor? Because it's kind of weird that you started playing this, and I was talking about it, I think, 2 weekends ago on Top Down, that's one I wanted to try at some point.
Well, I mean, I played through like 6 days of it a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a friend who's beaten it and like New Game Plus it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of been on my plate as something I've been wanting to get back to, and this happened to be the week where I found the time to start playing it again.
Oh, okay. Cool. So,
and also because Devil Survivor 2 for 3DS came out a couple weeks ago, so that like
is that why there's so fucking many copies of that at the Toys R Us near here, and no copies of any other game I wanted to play?
I guess.
Okay.
2 just came out a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
For 3DS, so that's also been getting my wheels turning on finishing this game so I can play 2. Because 2 apparently I've heard it's not quite as good in terms of story stuff, but it adds like social link stuff from like the Persona games on
Nice.
top of everything.
Nice.
So that sounds really cool. And also having that game fully voice acted sounds great too. So I'm excited.
Cool. The other thing we did, D&D, we had our second session this week, and we introduced Ben as Root the Shifter Druid female, which is fucking weird to wrap my head around, because when he talks in a normal voice, but that's fine.
Yeah.
What did you think of this week's campaign?
Yeah, so we just basically did only role-playing stuff. We had like no combat. And it was fun. It was like David got slapped a bunch of times.
That was
shoveled poop.
Yeah.
I negotiated for getting us better deals on how much we were getting paid for stuff.
Yep.
Which is what my character's all about. So that was cool.
Getting paid.
Getting paid. Fat stacks.
I forgot
Cash
who
money.
was elf racist. That would be David. Basically, anything bad that happens, sexist or racist, it's probably David.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Is
But
it?
he kept it up because, I mean, with Ben there, I mean, that it was still David.
Yeah,
But
so
David still carried that torch.
I understand why, because Ben is the new person to the group and he hasn't really hit a stride like we're starting
Yeah.
to.
Mhm.
But I would have liked to hear more from Ben, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
His
sure
mic
it'll come.
situation seemed like an issue for him.
Yes.
Like that he wasn't present, pushed to talk and speaking up often enough. And then
Yeah.
when he left it open, the echo got real bad.
Did somebody message him about that? Because he started muting it again randomly. Or do you think he just realized?
I don't know. He might have realized because it kept getting worse the longer he left it open. It was like the bigger issue for me.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on, because like we've talked over TeamSpeak before and like looked at his setting. He looked at his settings and stuff, and we tried to talk it through. He has a problem. His mic has a problem with hot micing. So what it does is, when he's talking, it's fine because it's picking up direct, like into the mic itself. It's picking up a direct audio signal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what happens is it automatically looks for an audio signal when he's not talking. So it will gradually increase the mic sensitivity until it gets like a threshold that it wants, which is why you will hear like his fan and his typing and stuff, but it won't get quieter until it's at a point where like it's really bad. And then it'll go down again. But the more important thing with the hot miking issue is that it'll put the sensitivity up to, let's say, like out of 10 up to like an 8 or 9. And then when he speaks, his first part of his sentence will be really loud, and then it'll soften to try to compensate with the direct vocals again right into it. And I don't know why, because his mic is one of those I can't remember which Yeti one it is, but all Yeti mics are really good. Like, even the cheaper ones are really, really good. And he is the only person I've ever seen with this problem with the Yeti mic. He's the only person. Every other person has been fine with one. So
Yeah. I wonder if it's it's either his computer or maybe his mic is a dud. Like just a lemon. But I don't know.
I think it's more
It's a
likely he
weird
has
issue.
something in like his recording properties setting like turned on to try to like automatically find a signal or something. Like, we'll have to work on it. But anyways, it would have been nice to hear more from him. I understand why he
Yeah, for
wasn't.
sure.
If it wasn't just the mic issue, it's also because like we've already had some time like chattering and stuff. So I think we're getting to a point where we're pretty comfortable doing some stuff. We're not fully there yet, obviously. We're getting there
No.
though. Like,
But I feel like David was definitely better than he was last week.
yes. And also his mic situation was way better this week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He wasn't
forgot.
Robo David this week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that was cool to see. I just feel like Ben is playing like a weird character, like that he's playing something more complicated that's not him, so it's harder, like to like figure out for role playing. It's more difficult.
I don't think necessarily that it's not him, because like
Mm-hmm.
he really likes like druidy characters and stuff. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
think he's found his stride in how he wants to roleplay it yet. And of
Yeah.
course, being female is going to like just be inherently harder since he's not female.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking. I remember when he was building his character, he was talking about how he just wanted to do something to challenge himself. But
That's fair.
which, yeah, it's fair enough. I just think that when you're like, for me with role playing, I wanted a character that was simple and focused, so that I knew exactly in any situation how I should be playing it, so that I could be like more direct and focused on conversation stuff, like what I should be saying at any moment. It's clearer to me because I understand my character because he's not that complicated.
So like you set up a basic drive for like all the actions you can use now, and that's helped
Yeah.
a lot. Basically, it's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
for sure. Like his what he wants to me is clear, no matter what is coming at me. Either I don't care about it at all, so I'm like whatever, but I'm always focused on doing good for the party, getting money, like
Getting
also
paid.
that my getting paid is like my primary focus, and my secondary focus is keeping the team together, building like a unit.
Uh-huh. So you can get paid more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it'll and also just that that way my character like blends in with what we have to do with in terms of having a party in a D&D group.
Yes.
Like if you have a character who has weird other motives, they can go against the party, and I didn't want a character that did that.
Yes.
Because
I
that can
completely
happen.
Yeah. All in all, though, I really liked the chores. Like, I think it was Ben who was saying it reminded him of that episode in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh my god, what the hell is the name now?
Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Ba Sing Se, yeah, that's right. Where it's just like a cross section of like a bunch of different things going on in the city, with the characters, and that's exactly what this was. Yeah, it was really good.
I liked that. Like when we were trying to get the money from the leader of the Rat Guys, like that could have gone bad. That could have turned into a combat situation if we had totally fucked it up.
Yeah.
So that's a part of D&D that I like, that things can work out in different ways.
One of the reasons, like, I didn't hear, because there was a bit of chattering and stuff, I didn't hear that you were the one going to go get the money, because the reason why I wanted to be a part of that was because, like, my fucking character's only real big skill is diplomacy. So I was just like, this is like the perfect time to actually use that, and it totally worked out really well.
Yeah. Like
But,
I wanted, because my character he's like high diplomacy, high bluff, and high intimidate. Like I like all of those are 10 or above.
Yeah.
It's like and my character's backstory, like that's like collecting money was like what he did.
Right. And like, let's be honest here, if you're like a loan shark or something like that, you kind of do need to be able to swindle a little bit and be like, listen, like, you gotta pay up or whatever, but then when shit goes bad, you gotta be like, intimidating. It is like, no, like, you gotta do this now or you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted him to be flexible in those kinds of situations, because one thing might not work.
Yeah.
And getting more opportunities to use that be cool. Because that stuff is cool. Like, video games are kind of bad at handling that kind of stuff in the way that it's easier to build situations like that in D&D.
I do,
because you could just have flexibility of people.
I do feel like when Tony built this scenario for us to do, he had certain people in mind for each task. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the delivering the flowers was supposed to be for Tia. Like, I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be for Tia. And I'm so glad she wasn't there, because we wouldn't have gotten the majesty that was David being an idiot if she was.
It was pretty great.
Because, like,
It was pretty great.
let me put this in perspective for people who weren't watching or don't know, like, these characters yet or whatever. That mission, Tia would have just stealthed in the room, put the flowers down, and left, and she would have gotten 5 gold for it.
Yeah.
David, on the other hand, stumbles in like a moron, and then hits on
Surprisingly stealthily.
hits on the wife, Then at the last second, like, calms her down by showing her the note from the husband. When she drops the towel, just be like, nice. Getting slapped.
He's such a dick at every turn. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk in here and sit on the couch.
That part was honestly the highlight of both of our sessions so far. So props to David. That was really good.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would go the route of just being sleazy and saying, like, these flowers are for you and trying to hit on the wife himself. And I'm so fucking glad he did. I was so happy with the way that turned out. And then later on, getting hit again by Tia. It was so
The
good.
crit.
The crit.
I also like every time I did like a perception check or something, and it kept really low numbers. I'm like, yeah, it's great, everything's fine.
Just
whatever.
start running in.
Yeah, I just like walk my character forward.
The best was still that check where you stab yourself in the eye, basically, or whatever. You blinded yourself.
Yeah, I tried to use one of my like shouting powers, and I blinded myself
By screaming too loud or something.
Yeah.
Or trying to scream too loud. That's so fucking dumb. I love it. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that, like, the thing keeping this all together and making this such a fun time is Tony, at the end of the day, for letting us be so flexible and, like, so on top of his game on, like, making sure we still go within the boundaries of what you can do within the game mechanics and the world he's created, but being flexible enough that when stupid stuff happens, he can have fun with us. So, like, he is one of the best DMs I think we could have ever asked for starting off. Like,
Yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah, fantastic. So, major props to him, and like, we can't thank him enough.
Great job.
for it.
Like, when we said we wanted a little more role-playing, he accommodated, which I have to assume takes more work than just creating a combat scenario. I don't really know, but
it sounds like he has a lot of ideas for this stuff, like stored away for other stuff he's wanted to do in the past, either as a player or as a DM. So I think he's drawing a lot from those ideas right now and just making stuff up to fit our situations as need be. But in the end, isn't that kind of what a DM does anyway? They just have all these ideas and then they fit it to their party somehow. So, like, he's doing his job perfectly and couldn't ask for a better DM for our stuff. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome time. I look forward to the next one. That cliffhanger we left off on, so good. But to the point where, like, I saw people in the chat were just like, what? No! Like, I just got here and stuff. And even, like, us as players were just like, fuck. Like, we wanted to do it so bad, too. But
I know
that's a sign of a good cliffhanger right there, where even the players wanted to keep going.
Yeah,
I blame Ben. Fucking druid. Since when do plants need to sleep anyway?
When they're exposed to too much cheese.
It's true. The Prince of Cheese. Yeah, man. That's It's okay. So the reason why this all came about was because, like, about a year and a half ago, I randomly twittered, like, I want to do D&D sometime. Who's a DM? And, like, there was like 3 people that were just like, I've done it before or whatever. And Tony is one of them. And then just watching other D&D campaigns and reading stuff on the subreddit and stuff, like, I just needed to get it done, and I'm so fucking glad I'm down in this hole now where I can't get out. I just want to do, like, this is how bad it is that I don't want to just, like, I know why we're just doing Sundays is to accommodate everyone. I wish there was a way I could just do one, like, every third day, every week, like, do 3 campaigns or something. I would be in fucking heaven if I could just, like, so this is how I was thinking. Like, Monday nights we do this podcast. Tuesdays would be open for, like, because that's when new games come out and I want to try some new stuff for TDP that week and all that sort of stuff. Wednesdays would be campaign night. Thursdays TDP. Friday the thing with John. Saturday D&D night, and every second Sunday D&D. That's what I would do.
Going hard.
I would go so hard, but it would be too hard, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, particularly like because the part of that becomes like a pain is like you have to have a commitment from all the party to do the same thing every week, and it's a hard commitment, particularly like the more people you add in.
Yeah,
I think if we can get Tony to run one-off campaigns for us, like
that
every once in a while, that would be really cool.
That is a thing that is 100% going to happen. Me and Tony have already been in the talks for one-off campaigns, and I have a roster of people already. But they're
Nice.
not ready. Like, we would have to get them set up. But the one-offs are going to happen. For anybody listening, it's specifically Meowth right now, live listening. I wouldn't expect any of that stuff to show its face until the end of June or early July at the earliest. So that stuff takes a long time to set up.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. How long did it take to set up our thing? It took 2.5 months after we already had everything set up.
Yeah.
Like, we had our characters, we had the name of our thing, Tony already had the first session planned, and it took us 2.5 months to get scheduling settled.
Yeah. Once you try to like actually work together people's lives, stuff gets complicated.
One of the nice side effects that has come from this, though, is that I've seen a lot more people like tweeting about D&D than I've ever seen on my feed ever before.
That's cool.
And like the first session we did, there wasn't so many the second session, and I think that might have been because, first of all, it was kind of we didn't really know when we were going to start, so we weren't kind of throwing it out there on Twitter as much every day of the week. Not hyping it up as much. We took a extended break in between to make sure we were all ready for the second part, and honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of action. There just straight up wasn't. But But the first session, after that, I had a bunch of people DMing me and asking if they could get in on it, and basically the only reason why I ever started doing podcasts on the internet or streaming or whatever is because I want people to enjoy the things I enjoy, or see if I can show them something I enjoy for them to latch onto. So this D&D thing has been fucking magnificent, and I'm so happy to see more people saying, I've never done this before or even really know what it's about, but after seeing it, I want to be a part of it. That's fucking great, and I hope we can accommodate every single person at some point to at least try it out in a session or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if we will be able to.
I've never done D&D before, but
yeah,
I'm having a lot of fun.
It's great. It's so good. Yeah, D&D. It's what's for dinner.
It's cool. It's
thought?
Mechanically interesting and fun. You get to be social.
You know what's weird to think about is I picked up the player's handbook, the first one. We have PDFs of it, but I wanted the actual book because of course I do. And I was with my mom, and I picked it up, and she was saying how if we were friends when she was younger, we probably would have gotten along because she loved playing D&D with her and saying how she had the best DM ever and stuff.
Nice.
I was just sweet. But then I was also thinking we could still play, but that would be so fucking awkward. So I didn't bother bringing it up. But yeah, it's weird to think that this game has so much staying power when it was created 30 years ago. It was created a long time ago.
And video games owe so fucking much to D&D.
Every fantasy video game ever owes everything
every
to
RPG.
D&D. That's kind of what I meant.
RPGs.
That's kind of what I meant.
Mass Effect owes everything to D&D too.
Yeah, no, you're right. Every RPG ever owes at least one part of their mechanics or their story stuff or lore to D&D and Tolkien. We can't forget Tolkien.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Tolkien shit in a lot of RPGs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really do like the mechanics, though. It is.
Yeah, they're great.
It is boiling down exactly what every single video game ever is. A series of set numbers and dice rolls for RNG. That is literally it.
So one of the things I've never really understood is why in video games they always, I mean, I guess just because laziness, but morality, they always break it down into good and evil. Why don't
Oh,
they
morally?
use the
Yeah.
fucking like lawful, good, or chaotic? Like, why do they don't do that in terms of how they structure a video game? It doesn't seem like it would be that complicated, except it would be more work, but it would be more interesting. I don't
Mhm.
when moral choicism is such a played out thing. I don't get why there isn't a game that's at least taking it in that direction. That isn't just straight trying to be D&D.
I completely agree. Especially since like chaotic doesn't mean evil.
Yeah,
And
like just some variety, man.
like there are games that do that, but not outwardly like they do good and evil, like say Mass Effect, Paragon, and Renegade.
Yeah,
But like there are quest lines, classes, and stuff, even in say WoW, where it's like there's just kind of fucked up shit going on, but like the reason you're doing it is so everybody will live in this area or something.
yeah.
Like,
But and like more importantly, like that you have two. Just the idea of instead of having one bar, you have two like in bars that can mix interestingly. So you're instead of like creating like a line of three different choices, you have like a queue. You have like a square of like 9.
yes,
Just in terms of two things interacting together to create what you end up with.
you would only
Like
actually
it doesn't seem that fucking complicated, and you would only need like 4 of them really.
you only need 2 bars because
Yeah.
if you're neutral, the bars just don't fill.
Yeah.
But like you need one saying like chaotic or lawful, and one saying good or evil.
Yeah.
And then they can mix and match if you want them to, but like you only need 2 bars.
Depending on the circumstances, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like it should have been that complicated. I don't really get why no video game does it.
I think
Because
it's
they fucking love moral choice systems, but they don't.
They
do them
do.
in any ways that are interesting.
the problem is they also love money. Like they
do love money.
money, and they know average people are stupid and need things boiled down into black and whites to make them have the best impact possible. Because like even people that play D&D, I've seen people have discussions on like, is this like chaotic good or is this like lawful neutral or something?
Oh, yeah,
like
there
even
are
people that
tons of
know
arguments.
this stuff don't
true.
know this stuff
Uh huh.
because
But I mean,
it's
you
all in
wouldn't
the
even
eye
have
of
to-
the beholder, right?
Wouldn't even have to necessarily surface it in that way.
But then
Just,
what's
like,
the
in
point of
terms
having
of-
it even
Well,
if
I
you're
just
not going to
mean
surface
like
it?
you're gonna give them choice. If you give players choices, but you don't just think of the choices you're offering them as A or B. You think of them as all the 4 choices, and then the player can choose what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the background you're tallying that into fucking good or evil, chaos, neutral. But you surface them like literal things that they can comprehend. I would think would work better than like you could play good neutral, choose that, and you go on this particular path.
One of the games, honestly, that is got kind of closer than most games I can think of off the top of my head, anyways, right now with this idea, is the Old Republic. Because even if you were a Sith, you could be like the crazy Sith who executes people, or you could like execute this guy because you had the order to, and you're gonna take that order, or you could let him
Yeah.
go. Like you can actually do some weird moral things in that game. But the weird thing
That
is
game was really D&D, because that game, the way it explained how its numbers work was in terms of like 20 rolling 20 to die. Like that was how it's a whole conception of how they developed that game had D&D in mind.
yeah, no, totally. So
Yeah.
they're
And people love
the
that
closest
game.
ones. It's okay. That game's fine.
Yeah, I never
It's
got
a-
into it, but
It's an
but
MMO.
it sure has people who are affectionate for that stuff.
It is an MMO.
Yeah.
I think whether or not you would enjoy that is A, do you enjoy MMOs? Yes or no? And if yes, move on to B, do you enjoy Star Wars stuff? If yes, then you should probably try it because
Yeah.
it is exactly up 2 of your alleys. It is a cross section of your 2 streets. So, yeah. But like, yeah, in terms of what you're talking about, that is the game that I think tried to do it, and it almost bankrupted them. Like seriously, because that they put a lot of funding, time, effort into that game, and it was
Yeah.
an MMO, So at the end of the day, it didn't make back what they put into it at all.
Yeah, the MMO bubble was dumb. It was
Yes.
like the only way, like so many studios, the only way they could get funding was to build, like, say they were building an MMO.
Mhm.
It just, you could see it coming from a mile away. Oh, this is all gonna fucking fall apart. But that's
Yep.
where like funding. It was like, it wasn't like this is a great idea. This is what investors are excited about.
It makes you actually really appreciate WoW as well, because MMOs have always been a money sink where, like, if you don't
Yeah.
hit the lottery with it, you can go bankrupt just providing that service. So the fact that they actually went for it and made it into what it is now, even still, is fucking amazing. So
Wow, was a fucking feat. It was a
it
fucking
is. It will never.
miracle of
I'm gonna go
game
on a
development.
stand and say it will never be recreated what they have done with that game ever again in that space, because they
Nope.
hit the perfect point of talented designers for stuff, talented artists and conceptual stuff, talent, like great storyline behind everything in this world already that they've set up. Just amazing technical feats of the only time you saw a loading bar or like a loading screen was if you were leaving the fucking continent.
Yeah,
or the
entering
world.
an instance like a dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a whole different thing because you're entering another server.
They also, like, it came at the right time where
It
they
came
could have
at
a
the
game that
perfect
looked
time.
good but was still not too complicated in terms of like the amount of time for creating assets.
People
one
can
of the
say
bigger
what they
problems-
want. I love the look of WoW because no
It's
matter
fucking great, and it hold up so much better than if they had tried to go for cutting edge.
any screenshot I see of MMOs, I can get most of them confused unless they're either WoW or the Old Republic because Star Wars. And even then, if you're looking at like the sky as like just a normal dude in a suit or something in KOTOR, I'm not gonna know like what the difference between
Yeah.
that and something else is. But WoW has the most distinctive art style that is so like
Yeah, it's about art design. It's not about
Yeah.
fucking just graphical horsepower.
yeah.
But because the big problem with like AAA right now is creating like the kind of realistic assets that like sell copies of those kind of games to justify how much they spend. It takes too much money to make like the best looking game.
Yes.
Like, it just ends up not being worth it.
All you need to make a game that I care about is make it mechanically sound and try something new. That's it. That's literally all you have to do.
Yeah. And it just hit everything right, like timing wise in terms of zeitgeist stuff. It just
And not even
fuck-
just when it came
fucking-
out. Up until like 4 years ago. It's been hitting every time they release an expansion.
It was my favorite game last year. It was my favorite game last year.
Every expansion has hit perfectly except for Cataclysm. But the reason Cataclysm still did something really unique, the reason why it kind of failed in my opinion was because they wanted to try something so new. They literally destroyed the world people grew up with. They went so far to try to make the game fresh for people, they fucking broke what people loved about it. And that's almost admirable. That's almost admirable. People love
they
this
went
thing.
fucking-
We're gonna tear it apart. Like, why?
They fucking went for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot about Cataclysm I respect. Like
Yeah.
that's where they started to try a lot of their storyline stuff. It only worked in certain places. That fucking underwater area was just fucking boring. But
No,
some of
dude.
it works.
It was boring after the first 15 minutes. When you first get in there and you have a seahorse and stuff, it's pretty great.
Yeah. And initially it's great, but when you're just going like swimming from cave to cave, like just it's another cave. Oh, it's another cave. Like
Yeah.
it got repetitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you first get a seahorse, it's cool. But some of it worked. It was doing new stuff. Like it wasn't like this isn't just the same old WoW. So that was cool. I feel like more like their endgame stuff for Cataclysm wasn't great.
It
They
wasn't.
made a lot. They trivialized it to an extent that made it not engaging.
Mm-hmm.
So they fucked up in a bunch of ways.
Yes.
But they were trying stuff. Like How many games franchises or companies can say when they're on top, they experiment, and they try to like improve their storytelling?
I can tell you who
Or in,
can't
like-
say that, Nintendo.
Yeah.
I will say they have tried it before. Like, they have tried, but that's only because new hardware, really, that they wanted to push. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say that Nintendo
They
has...
try actually.
No, I'm going to say Nintendo's never actually gone out on a limb, because every time they've released something new and innovative that was fun, maybe, even, whether or not it was fun is trivial, it's because they wanted to do the new features of their hardware. So,
Yeah.
you almost...
But I
Mhm.
I will always appreciate Wii for just deciding, no, we want to make games that for a console that's cheaper, that does something new and different.
Until every game had Waggle
as,
in it.
As the 360 and PS4 were fucking just all about bumping up Powerhouse.
I
like, I
agree
just
with you.
appreciate that it
Until
was a
every
more
game had
affordable
Waggle
system.
in it.
Yeah, like third-party developers just fucking that became fucking dump ground for fucking garbage games. But
Yep.
it didn't. The back end of that system's life was shitty. But I appreciated it. It wasn't like it was an expensive system. Like, it's
It was
hardware that
hard
was
to
cheap
find,
and had some
too.
good games. It was hard to find at the beginning.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Nintendo, not the best at keeping their shit in stock. Because kind of people buy it.
Yeah.
People like that stuff. It's a... People get mad at Nintendo because Nintendo makes stuff they like. Nerve. The fucking nerve.
And I mean, I still hold dearly to the idea that, like, Nintendo systems will be the only ones I buy, like, when I can, as the first system of a new generation, because I have a PC. And anything that the PlayStation 4 can do right now, I can do better with this, as long as the game's on it.
Yep.
True. Not limited to modding, where a whole group of people can either fix a game or just make it actually playable.
Yep.
So, Nintendo is always the only console maker that, like, you should probably buy as the new generation console every time, because they will have the new stuff. Whether or not you like some of the new stuff, that's a personal taste thing, but I mean, I don't usually like a whole lot of Nintendo stuff, but I thought Zombie U was great, and it made me get a Wii U. That's one of the things, because it actually utilized their new gimmick with the tablet pad. That was cool. And now it seems like every game is just basically using that as your map or menu button. So,
Yeah.
But that's what happened with the Wii too. Because when the Wii came out, a lot of stuff were trying to utilize it, like whether or not they succeeded greatly, like Wii Sports Resort or any of that stuff, or failed drastically, like Red Steel. They tried new stuff, and it all devolved into Waggle in the end anyway. And it's the same thing's happening with the Wii U right now, but you can't blame Nintendo for third-party game makers not having any imagination.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not selling enough to make it worth it for third-party developers to put stuff. Because Nintendo can get third-party stuff. The fucking 3DS gets tons of cool shit.
Mm-hmm. Even the Wii U did. When that thing launched, you could get the Arkham game, you could get Call of Duty, like, you could get third-party stuff.
I was listening to a story about someone talking about playing Call of Duty on their tablet in their bed the other day.
That sounds terrible. Because it's like you're taking this good thing about laying in bed all day and mixing it with playing
Call of Duty.
It's not even Call of Duty, because Call of Duty
Yeah, I get
games
it.
are kind of great in the way they handle, but putting them on a subpar thing sounds like the worst. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's not what I would do. Also, because the fucking company that ported those games to Nintendo stuff never did a good job.
No.
But whatever.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
What else?
Yeah.
Apparently, the Vita is a legacy platform, according to Sony. So that's cool.
I think the Vita
3DS
is a
is
cool
still pretty
machine
good.
that never gets enough love from anybody, specifically
Yeah, the
developers.
Vita has like the problem of the fucking Wii U. It's not. It doesn't. Not enough people own it to make it worth it to spend the money to make like games that take advantage of what it does. It's just install base.
Or they
Video games
do
are too
dumb
expensive.
shit like Uncharted and like holding the backup to a light or whatever to read a map and just dumb.
Like the the
That's
fucking
dumb.
video games like saying we have to take advantage of every weird feature this fucking hardware has, even if it's dumb and bad. What are you doing? What are you doing? Wasting your money. Wasting your time.
There were some great things on the Vita that I really wanted to play and never could. One day.
Persona 4 Golden is like my favorite single player game.
Yeah,
all time.
but I have Persona 4. The
Yeah,
PS2.
but in the Golden you can dress them as Power Rangers.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to buy a Vita. That's one of the things I will say I like about handhelds more, is like those long RPG things.
Oh yeah.
Sessions. Way better.
Like, I prefer those games on handhelds because, like, that way I can. It's easier for me to If I'm playing them at home, it's easier for me to multitask.
Yes.
Or I can play them on a trip or something. Because fucking jump in, do some grinding, jump out.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff's great. Play it while watching TV or something.
Yeah.
That stuff is. I always prefer RPGs on handhelds.
Yeah.
Anything turn-based, handhelds.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I really like.
I am excited for that XCOM 2.
Are you?
That trailer.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that premise, and I like that first game. It was cool.
Excellent.
But I actually
Enemy Unknown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the new one.
Yeah.
I never played the expansion pack because that just adding more enemy types wasn't that interesting in terms of just keeping the same.
XCOM annoys
Scope
me
of it.
because I love it, but I get so fucking frustrated with it that I don't
Yeah.
play it because it
Mhm.
actually makes me mad a lot of times.
Mhm.
I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. I will have the patience for some games. Like, I will have the patience of a fucking monk for some games. But when it
Yeah.
comes to, like, tactics games, if it doesn't work out in the first, like, one try, I just throw my controller away. Like, I'm done,
Mhm.
and I go to something else.
Yeah, no, that's. Yeah, I have the patience to retry because particularly if I can treat them more like if they're responsive in a way that I can treat them like a puzzle game, and I'm just trying to solve this puzzle so that every retry is just like, I fucked it up. Can I try it this way? That's how I approach Fire Emblem games. It's like I'm trying to solve a puzzle.
Yes.
And I love like weird kinds of puzzle design in games that aren't strictly puzzles. Like the way I think about the Punch-Out games. I love that stuff. That
Oh,
stuff's cool.
man. Punch-Out's so good for that.
Yeah.
And then you watch, like...
It's just kind of the best.
Then you, like, watch Zallard or something play it, and you're just like, I'm never gonna be good, and you quit. Watch fucking Sinister One blindfold run that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
He's not playing the game.
He's
He's
breaking
just
it.
remembered fucking button press. He like has physical memory in his hand and just punches it out.
Yep.
I'm getting there with Spider-Man.
That's
Like
sick.
part of the reason in that last stream where I got a new PV when I played it, like having the chat to look at helped me because then I wasn't thinking and my hands were just doing muscle memory
That's sick.
because I played that game so many times.
You've played that game too much. That's... Ugh. Why? Why?
Because I have the muscle memory, man. I can do it. Because it took the level it took to finally beat that game.
Yeah.
From just hammering away at it a kid. It was there. Like, inherently left in my hands.
I think it's hilarious that that game is so bad that the only like skill set you need to be able to speed run it comes naturally if you can just beat it normally.
Yep.
That's gross.
Because it's Nintendo hard, and then it's trial and error of doing stuff over and over again so that you can do it properly.
No, it's just
Particularly
bad
like
control.
the bullshit.
It's just really bad control.
Well, also that a lot of it is the game not clearly telling you, like telling you
Anything.
how you can jump or information about how you can where you can swing, where you can't. You just do that over and over until you learn it.
I think what
And then you
makes
can
me
just
the
do it every
most
time.
mad about that game is that there are points in it where they know something is fucked up, and rather
Yeah.
than address the problem, they just put a little indicator there or something to
Yeah, they're
help
like
out.
it's like they marked it so they could remember to fix it later, and then never did. Like the fucking boxes in the second level where you can't stand on the edge of them, you like slide off.
Mm-hmm.
So they put there's like a crack in what there's like a box and there are two boxes, and you slide off. So under this one, they put a fucking web right next to one of the boxes
Yeah.
in like the crack that you will slide into, just to like point it out.
Well, to like
Fucking so
force you to
great.
do it, basically.
Yeah, but it forces you to like see how weird this platform is because you might, I don't know,
Or
it's
the
just like calling attention to it.
Or the fact that under the bridge, that one fucking
Yes.
spot where
The
you web
rafts.
sling is so bad that they put a life raft there that sinks.
Yeah, it takes you backwards and then sinks.
What
It's like it's a secret. Like, oh, I saved myself. Now I'm just going backwards. God damn it.
one of my fondest moments was when we were playing that on that Friday stream.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the VOD of it, and on John's end, he was on the raft, and then it just sinks. He's like, "What?" And I was
So
just
good.
like, "Yes, that's so good," because the same thing happened to me.
Happens to everyone.
It happened.
That's
to
why
everyone.
one of my other favorite parts about it is like, watch every time I see someone new play it, they do the same fucking shit. Like it's not like people play that game and do weird choices to find the fucked up shit. Everyone plays it the same kind of the first time. They run into the same exact the problems every time. It's like
It
they're
makes me
there.
wonder, like, was this just made before the era of playtesting? No, it wasn't, because
no, they probably just didn't pay for it. Like it was just probably like, yeah, we know this. Oh well, we've run our course of development time. One of my favorite things about it, though, is that clearly it was thought out originally with the levels in a different order in certain cases, and I don't know why they changed it. Because of where you go, like that you're clearly going from different places,
Mm-hmm.
like that you go from Brooklyn to the Brooklyn Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
but then you end up in Coney Island, which is the other direction and super far away.
So are you thinking you were supposed to start in Coney Island?
Well,
Or do it backwards, like go from Coney Island to,
go,
like, the
well,
bridge?
no. So in the alpha, the
Mhm.
first level is the construction site. So you start with the construction site, then you do the Brooklyn Bridge, then you do Doc Ock Space, then you do Coney Island. Would make a little more sense.
Right, so, like, you were traveling, the first 3 levels you're traveling to Doc Ock's lab, and then something
Yeah.
else came up, and now you have to swing over to Coney Island quickly.
Yeah, something like that. But the way it is now, it makes no fucking sense, which is even better. Because there are other
strongly
times where you jump like through a tube and you wind up, and then the next level you're just on a fucking roller coaster.
I hate that level. That level is
The roller
bullshit.
coaster.
It's
The roller
helped.
coaster is like the hardest part.
It's helped when you said, like, all you have to do is jump when the sound stops. Who would ever think of that, though? It would be the opposite. Like, you would hear music, and then when you hear a sound, that's when you would jump.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that fucking game.
The hardest part in the game is right when you have to web swing
Mm-hmm.
through the part, like in the second part of the roller coaster,
There's,
where there
like,
aren't
that
things
one
coming after you.
section, broken section that you can swing from.
It's that there are all these jumps where you can die. There's
Yeah.
a particular part where you're web swinging onto, and you can only swing on this particular bar that looks like every fucking other background object, but you can only hit your web on this thing, which took a lot of fucking dying at that part to figure out.
Mhm.
If you jump too high into it, you'll be too close to it, and you can't web swing on it, which is great. And then, once you get up, because of so many stages in that game are vertical, so when you fall, it almost ends up being worse when you're not dying. You have to like play the whole level over again if you fuck up a little bit. The vertical stages, man. That's the kind of thing that gets you speedrun like practice. Is like, oh, I fucking slipped, and now I have to do the whole level over again in a regular, normal ass playthrough.
On the plus side, you are basically one skip away from hitting sub 15, I think. If you can find a good skip, I think you can do sub 15.
Yeah.
Getting that first
I mean, every time I'm
spider
playing it, I'm
armor
learning.
is not worth it at all.
No, that one I can skip.
Yeah. The one in
Two of
the
them I still
construction
need.
site seems to be the one you need, like, the most.
Yes, I need that one.
And the one at the end.
The one at the end of J. Jonah Jameson's penthouse I need.
But that
'cause
one's,
one
like,
gets
on
me...
the way, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's not too big a detour. And then there's the last one, which is a super tiny detour,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know that I need it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just a super tiny detour.
Yeah. Were you
'Cause that's, like,
stoked
literally-
when you hit your PB?
I'm always stoked when I hit PB.
Yeah, fair.
Because, like, when they're playing it, I'm like, how much? Yeah. Because a lot of it is just finally putting a playthrough together where I don't fuck up.
Do you fixate on the time at all when you're playing?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's probably a bad habit.
No, that's the thing. Like, playing over and over again, like, getting closer to getting better records. Like, I get better about not getting nervous at certain parts. Like, that's really the thing, is playing it enough where I'm doing the parts that are stressful where I know I can fuck up and not stressing myself out. Because I'm just used to doing it over and over again. Like, it's...
Fuck that game.
But I just find it interesting because it's like just trying to speedrun the game. Like,
yeah,
I learn a lot about speedrunning.
That's
like,
fine,
it's just
but I hate
interesting.
that fucking game. I hate it. It is so poorly designed. It is so bad. There's no way you can even deny it.
No,
you
it's
know
terrible in a
yourself
bunch of
how
ways.
bad it is.
But there's a bunch of details about it that make me like it. Like that
Okay.
it has
Well,
the
it's
Spider-Man
nostalgia.
villains in it. Total nostalgia. But it had these things that made it appeal to me as a kid.
Yeah, it
Whereas
has
there
the
are
owl.
tons of LJN games that aren't appealing at all when you know the property. They're just fucking bullshit garbage. Whereas at least this has visual stuff about it, and I just like that you could like web swing and run and stuff. Like that web swinging actually involves hitting a physical thing and swinging. Like it's not till like the 3D Spider-Man games where that becomes a thing again.
And you can enjoy your favorites like the owl and
Yeah, the
Alistair
owl.
Smythe.
And that robot that cyborg guy that's not actually a Spider-Man villain I think of.
That alpha robot, way better.
Yeah. So good, right?
It's kind of
His heart falls
terrifying.
out.
And he has like the RoboCop like face stretched across
Yeah.
metal or something. Like it's weird.
So good. Also that like those learning from the alpha that those big fucking burly guys with like the energy on one of their hands were supposed to look like vault guards with like spikes on them and like heavy armor. But for some reason that didn't get through, so they had to just be big muscular dudes. Doesn't make any sense.
What the hell is with the ducks spitting bombs too? That's like a penguin thing from Batman or something.
Yeah, in the hardest difficulty only, there are extra ones of them that just spit fire. Like they burp fire out and you can't run through them. Like you can with the other ones. That's a big thing in the harder difficulty that would slow you up.
Is that like
You have
the
to remember
only
where all those
difference?
are. No, there's also like in that first construction level where you climb up the building and you have to swing over. There's literally an exploding barrel where you want to land,
Great.
like right in your way. That there's no way to web hit it or anything.
That's bullshit.
For a speedrun, that's fucking garbage.
That's bullshit. For a game, that is bullshit.
Yeah, for a game, it's garbage.
Fuck.
And then there are like Black Widow Spider Slayers in some parts, but they're not too bad if you're just running through. Mostly that's it. Mostly it's that fucking barrel that makes me not want to play on a harder difficulty. Because that barrel is fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's just bad game design. Like, it's worse game design on bad game design.
But one of my favorite things about that game in terms of speedrunning that just is funny when you do it is that the way explosions work in that game, they don't hurt you when they first go off. Like, their hitbox is set up at the wrong time, so it lasts late, but it's not there early. So if you run into an explosion and hit it off and jump away, you won't get hurt.
Which is why when you do that bouncy part, you can set off like all 3 explosions and just keep running.
Yeah, and I don't get hurt at all.
Yeah.
Because the hitbox for them, it comes on late. But when you're playing the game as like a new player, you run into them thinking they'll be gone, and you always get hit. And you're like, fuck! Also, the bullshit with like certain bosses you can jump on, certain bosses you can't jump on. Like, there are little visual cues, but how the fuck are you supposed to know that? That's what that means?
Yeah. You're not. Because it's bullshit.
It's true. I also like just love dumb stuff like the lizard. When you punch him as Connors, he comes back, but now you can't kill him.
That's pretty fun.
Good.
That's pretty
So
funny.
good.
That's annoying, but pretty funny.
Like as a kid, that stuff's so cool. Like that was like, oh man, this game, man,
Yeah.
blows my mind. I mean, honestly, just being a kid and learning about the fucking switch to kill Doc Ock is fucking mind blowing when you learn that.
Yeah.
It's fucking mind blowing.
What's really annoying
'Cause-
is even when you hit that switch, he can still
Yeah.
walk through it. Like, it'll stop when he comes walking by.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you have to web him under
It's
it.
so fucking
for it to
bad,
hit him.
man. It's so bad.
Well, it didn't. Yeah, Doc Ock. You know, that's the Spider-Man villain. You can't punch him. Like he doesn't get hurt by punches. The normal-ass dude.
It makes sense, though, because, like, every time I remember Doc Ock from stuff, anytime Spider-Man would, like, try to get near him, like, a limb would just come smack him. So,
Yeah.
like, it's kind of true to character. Here's web in your eye.
Yes, here's Web in Your Eyes classic. But that's more like people writing around the fact that if you just punch him in the face, he goes down because he's a normalized dude.
Yeah. He
Like
is
they made a
normalized dude.
storyline about him having been punched in the head too many times, and so he was dying. Like that was like part of this build-up storyline to Superior.
That's good. That's pretty good.
His body was fucking broken. He's been hit too many times because he was just a normal person.
Poor Doc Ock. He's still the best part of Spider-Man 2.
It's true. There's also like mini bosses that are easier than normal villains. Like Hammerhead, they never put in an animation for him to duck, so he's worse than a normal vault guy with a gun because they can duck. You can just literally duck crawl up to him and kick him until he dies.
Does that game have Tombstone in it? Did I see a Tombstone? Just like a normal
No.
ass dude. A white dude.
Tombstone's not new.
Okay.
That might have been Hammerhead.
You might be right.
But I think he's only on hard difficulty.
The Rhino's a
I don't
joke.
know.
Just
Rhino's a joke. There's one fight where where it's Chameleon Rhino is like smarter than Rhino for some reason or something, and if I kill his owl form in a certain spot, his Rhino AI will be different and weirder and harder to kill.
like that.
So I haven't
one
quite figured
run
that part
you
out.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it depends on where I kill him. If I killed him in a way that would take me longer as owl, his Rhino AI would be easier to deal with. So I haven't figured that part out quite yet.
So I was disappointed today.
Ow.
I came home, and my package for Amiibos was not here.
Oh, man.
Charizard is not sitting beside me watching me right now. Charmander's behind me there. But
I don't want Charizard either, but
oh man, the two
I have the ones
characters
I
I
actually
don't
care
care
about.
about.
yeah, the characters I do care about the most out of any of the Amiibo, probably. Because Fire Emblem Awakening is probably my favorite Nintendo game.
I've never played a Fire Emblem game, so I
Probably.
don't care about any of those characters at all.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Which is really, really fortunate, because they're hard to get.
It's true.
So I am really, really glad that I don't give a fuck about them. I'm really glad I don't give a fuck about Ness. Like, really glad. Because that would be hard. That would be worse. I
That would
think.
be hard.
I'm trying to think of the one I do care about that I'm mad about that I haven't gotten yet.
For me, it was Little Mac till I got
Yep.
him.
Yeah. I gotta order me a Little Mac. Because the only one I actually did care about, or do care about, was Mega Man. Because I love Mega Man. And I
Yeah.
got him. So, like, when I was coming home with him, I was just like, Everything else now is gravy. I got the one I care about.
Yeah. Japanese little mech.
Still in package, too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video at some point. I have to think of a gimmick for opening an amiibo part 3, though. I might do a part 3 and a part 4, because I have enough to do a couple. I have ideas percolating.
Nice.
But it's hard to, like, film it myself. If I'd help, it would be easier to do some weird stuff. But...
The second how to open an amiibo video reminds me of, like, some early JonTron or something. Or even JonTron now, I guess. He's kind of not changed. For anybody listening that wants to see some dumbass videos, head over to I Am 3D Homer on YouTube and check out those how to open an amiibo videos. They are dumb, but in the perfect
dumb
way.
videos. They're dumb videos.
Like the dumb gags, like putting in the Super Nintendo game and then picking up the NES controller. That type of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
those are fun to make. Like I like simple, short things where I can just do some quick editing. That was fun. I like that.
Yeah. I'm sad because I don't have my Charizard, Wario, or Pac-Man. Out of those, in order, I care about Charizard the most, then Pac-Man, then Wario. Wario's kind of the low tier, but I figured since I'm ordering them anyways, we'll throw him in. Because I'm paying shipping on the other ones anyway, so what's adding another one for $10 or $13 or whatever it was?
Yeah. Wario is from 2 of my favorite Nintendo games that are pretty different games. But
Wario Land games?
The first Wario Land and WarioWare Inc. Both fucking great games.
See, it's not that I don't like Wario, it's just that out of those 3, he's outclassed.
Fair enough.
For me.
But Wario Land, the first Wario Land was my favorite Nintendo platformer for my whole childhood.
Wario
Land
Land
still
3
be.
is better. Game's good.
I haven't played 3 really.
You should.
I didn't like 2 was like my jumping off point where I liked how one played, and then they went in a different direction with it in terms of powers giving you getting hit, giving you different powers instead of playing more like a straight platformer where you just feel super strong all the time. Enemies are like weak in your presence. I love that there's a fucking enemy that can't hurt you. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is how strong you are. This enemy, literally no way can it hurt you.
Also, to answer you, Meowth, finally, because I know you asked this like twice already. No, I have not gotten Splatoon. I don't care about Splatoon at all. I will probably get it for the amiibo.
I may get Splatoon. That hour I played of the test fire might be enough for me, though. Like, that was fun hour, but that might be all I'm interested in that game for, was playing it for an hour.
We can play it online together, though, right?
Yeah.
That automatically makes it better to me. Like, if I can actually...
Yeah.
Like, we could get in TeamSpeak or something and, like, play together. Or, like...
Yeah, that would be cool.
They don't have a voice
But I'm
thing.
also in no hurry to get it, because they're adding more content to it for free all the time, so there's no rush. There will be more maps if I play it later. It could be a better experience if I just wait.
I agree.
And I already know what it is. Like, I could talk about it, so whatever.
I do need to get those amiibos, though, because I really like the Squid amiibo, and then I have to get Squid Girl. So I might as well get all 3 of them at that point.
Yeah, you can only get the squid thing in the 3-pack.
Yep, you can. Or in the special edition version of the game, right?
Maybe? I guess.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking of doing.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
But at least you're not in Europe. It should be easier to find them here than in Europe, where they were all stolen.
That was one of the best stories I've ever heard. Actually, that's not true. The best video game related story ever was, oh my god, it was like the CEO or something, the dude who did the N-Gage. There was a while there. I think it was the N-Gage. Do you remember those like cell phone game things?
I do remember the N-Gage.
That game device that was also a cell phone. He was the dude that
comic
went
book writer I
crazy
really like.
and like
his name is N-Gage.
got into like some shit. Like, it seemed like every week on GameSpot they were talking about him because he did something else crazy. I can't remember his name. I'll look it up when we, like, have a moment, but I remember something about him just, like, crashing his Ferrari and walking away from it or something. Like, just dumb shit like that.
Yeah. There's a comic book writer I really like whose name is Christos N. Gage. Every time I see his name, I just think of the N Gage.
Makes sense. The N-Gage was a piece of garbage, but I kind of wished I had picked one up. Just, that's never going to happen again. Ever. I
remember, yeah. Like, all that weird cell phone game stuff. Game system stuff that always seems ill-conceived.
Yeah.
Because either cell phones would get good enough to play dumb games for people that wanted them, or people would buy game systems that are actual game systems.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when fucking Sony, when they announced the fucking, I think it was the PSP, and they announced, like, that they were also going to make a cell phone game system at the same time that I don't think ever came out.
So fucking stupid. So dumb.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
really
dumb.
want to find what this dude's name is so I can Google him and show you all the dumb shit that he's done. Oh, wait. No, it wasn't the N-Gage. It was the Tiger Telematics Gizmondo.
The Tiger Electronics?
The Telematics Gizmondo. Do you remember that at all?
What is... No, that I don't remember.
Okay. So, let me see if I can find a picture of it. It looks like an N-Gage, basically. This is what was said about it by MCV on August 2004. The Gizmondo is the most advanced handheld gaming system you've ever seen on steroids.
Oh, weird.
It was supposed to be...
Okay, so this isn't associated with Tiger Electronics. Okay.
Tiger Telematics. Yeah.
First thing in the Wikipedia article, not be confused with Tiger Electronics.
Wait. Cast Nerds of Herds in the chat saying Gizmondo 10 out of 10 would never buy again. Please tell me you have a Gizmondo. Holy shit. This is the most important thing that has ever come up during a podcast ever. Sorry about everything you were excited to talk about, but this is more important. Also, apologies to Nathan.
It's amazing. Fucking 4 buttons on the right are stop, play, fast forward, and rewind.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Just map fucking QuickTime events to those.
All right.
Play! Mash play to siphon gasoline into the car.
I'm not going to be able to find the exact podcast or whatever where they talked about it on the hotspot years ago, but
yeah,
there is a site called This Year in Podcasts or something. Hold on. thisyearcollection.org. And what they do is they are a podcast where they put together the best like moments of podcasts every year the podcast has been around. So they did a top 40 one for just like all of the GameSpot ones, and you can get them separate by year as well. You can check that out at the link I put in the chat there. It is rather long. I believe this one... Yeah, this isn't bad. This one is only 2 hours and 10 minutes. Some of these compilations are like 6 hours.
Jeez.
But it is like a recap of some of the best stuff. And in this top 40, there is a part where they just talk about the like Tiger Telematics Gizmondo stuff, because it was so batshit insane for like a month. It came up on every podcast for like a few weeks.
That sounds great.
Also, the stuff about Duke Nukem Forever and all that stuff. Like, there's some great shit. There's some great shit in there. But
cool.
I highly recommend this site to anybody who just kind of wants like an archive of some podcasts maybe you've heard people talk about, or like yourself, and just want to like maybe an all around just some of the best stuff that happened there, because that's what this is for, and it's fantastic actually. I really
that
like
kind of stuff
listening.
can also be a good like entry point for podcasts.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like some of these they timestamp as well, which is great, and yeah, they give you a little insight into who the podcast people are and all that stuff. Like, this site, it's really well done. I don't know if they still do it, honestly, because I have to imagine it takes a long, long time to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, it looks like 2014 is the last one.
Yeah. I mean, that's too bad, but I understand it because they probably have real lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at a certain point.
Currently
How much
hosting
time are you
costs us
spending editing
$500
and stuff?
yearly. Yeah, so they rely only on donations. They don't have any ads on the site at all, and they are even saying that it costs us $500 a year to keep this archive up, and it makes sense because they have a lot of shit they put into it. So, yeah. I waited 2 years. Oh, wait, no, I didn't buy one. I heard about it and was like, what the fuck is that? I waited 2 years and didn't play games on my cell phone anyway. Only 8 of the 14 games were ever released in the US. That's true. I do remember that. The Gizmondo was this amazing thing where it's like, you know how the N-Gage actually came out? The Gizmondo almost basically didn't. Like, it was such a failure for how much hype it had behind it. It's kind of amazing. I urge everybody that is interested in weird video game like Americana to look this shit up because it is so fucking dumb, the stories behind that thing. But yeah, otherwise, I guess that's my like pimp of the week. You should check out this year collection because that is basically where I listen to any old stuff because it's just the best stuff all put together and it's fantastic. But yeah. No, this podcast will probably never be on their site. These podcasts they have on here are like podcasts that get paid money just to do podcasts. We do this at like
They're top tier.
midnight, just hoping somebody will listen.
For the joy of podcasting.
Yes.
There's more purity in it.
We'll tell ourselves that. Other than that, I'm done. I have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah,
I'm
I
capped.
watched a lot of anime this week because
you
of
do
me and
Off
Ty
the
did
Tracks?
another. Yes, we did it. I think you were streaming at the time when we did it.
Awesome.
I think you were streaming Guild Wars 2 when we did it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But we did do it. We
Did you
get
do it
done.
live?
Yes. On
Okay.
Xbox.
Okay, so people probably were able to listen to that already. Meowth, I'm looking in your direction specifically, but if people haven't, when is that going up?
I don't know. Whenever Ty edits it and puts it up.
God help us all. So you'll be able to hear that next year, 2016, Summer of Ty.
Yeah. So I watched a lot of anime this week to be prepared for that. And we talked about a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly like new stuff that we talked about before in the first episode, but like more in depth because more episodes under our belts and stuff.
Very cool. So people will be able to listen to that as soon as that's up.
Yep.
The VOD for D&D that we did last night on the Sunday, the 31st, I guess, is up on YouTube or on Twitch. You can check that out if you are so inclined, and if not, that's fine. I don't give a fuck anyway. It's not like I'm getting paid to do it, in which case I would be pimping it way harder if I had advertisement dollars behind it, but I don't. That's just for people to catch up on if they want to. I feel like there was something else. Oh, Heroes of the Storm tournament. This weekend, Saturday, starting at 7 Mountain Time, so 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be part of Ham on the Core tournament hosted by Smash Logic, which is my friend Brad. So he will be streaming that on Smash Logic on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Smash Logic, I believe, will be there. And yeah, Team Pork Barrel. We're going to pull out all the stops. I thought that was a pretty good name.
It's a good name.
It's a pretty good name. So
appropriate.
If you want to see us win a tournament or lose horribly, both are equally able to happen. You can do so over there Saturday. That should be that should be interesting. That should be if nothing else, it'll be fun.
Yep.
And yeah, you definitely should go check out How to Open an Amiibo or Hank's PB. It was pretty impressive for people that were there. I mean, you were even impressed by it. And then you realized that you could save like a good 20 seconds or maybe 5 seconds or whatever, not getting that one thing. So you will easily be able to get sub 17 next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Without a doubt.
Or whatever time cutoff I can get.
That's
I always
the
feel
next
like
goal.
after I play it, I always feel like I'm at limit, and then I beat it by like a minute or a half a minute or something. So I'm still at the point where I'm pretty much improving every time I sit down and spend like an hour with it. So
I guess just quickly before we go, Snurds of Herds asks, Hank, have you seen Prince of Tennis?
I've seen things about Prince of Tennis. I've never really watched Prince of Tennis.
Oh, I thought that was the one you love.
No, Baby Steps. See, Prince of Tennis is like shonen over the top powering up tennis with like magical powers. Whereas Baby Steps is like actual just tennis without any superpowers.
That sounds fucking
That's
terrible.
the one I'm into.
Also, yes, Meowth, I will probably tweet the day of the tournament when we're going live and all that sort of stuff, so you can look on my Twitter for that if you want as well.
Oh, also, I wrote up patch notes for my anime tier list. I put in where Yurikuma Arashi belongs on the list and wrote up a thing for it. So that's live on Burning Barrel.
That is live. You also, I don't think we said, oh yeah, you did a review of Mad Max that I can actually read now.
Yep.
So I'll read that.
I'm very high on it.
Great. I'm glad I didn't read it before going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah, me too. Knowing what I know now. Ooh, dodged a bullet there. Since Snurdaperd is asking, this is probably a good time to just say, if you wanted to reach us, you can do so by Twitter is the easiest way. I'm at Exposure, EXFAUXSURE, and you can get Hank at Comic Panels.
Yep.
Spelt exactly how it sounds.
Yeah, with no space or anything.
Yeah.
Just the two words smushed together.
COMICPANELS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spelling.
I've done it.
Best.
I've done it before. I've spelled before. Anyways, that does it for us for this week. Sorry about the weird audio for the first 20 minutes, but we'll get this shit figured out. Oh well. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.